This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity to give you really an up-close view of SAM3G. You can see Sam right behind me. SAM3G is the third generation of our student auscultation mannequin manufactured by our partner Cardionics. As you'll see, SAM3G has the most extensive and highest quality sounds library in the marketplace. SAM is perfect for both individual practice, auscultation practice, but with the optional speaker is also great for classroom settings where the sounds can play through the speaker. One additional great feature of SAM3G is that your students can use their own stethoscope, the same stethoscope that they use to practice auscultation on, perhaps standardized patients. They can use it on SAM3G. And I think you'll agree, in our current environment where we're social distancing, washing our hands, washing any surface that's touched, never more important. So without any further ado, let's dive right into SAM. I should also tell you that the components with SAM are the actual mannequin, and then I am presenting from the SAM laptop that comes with SAM3G, and that has the software on it. So I'm going to right now share my screen and then open up the software. So you'll click on SAM, the icon, and this is the screen that you'll see. It's just going through its warm up right now. But yeah, so here we are. There's really three main tabs that you'll work from. Auscultation, which is where we'll start. And then there's also a lectures tab and a case studies tab, and we'll go through all of these. But let's start with auscultation. So what you'll do is go to the sounds library, and so I'm going to click on sound 1, and that's going to bring up the extensive sounds library I mentioned earlier. I just need to rearrange my screen a bit. And so as you can see, I'll scroll down these very slowly. We've got heart sounds, aortic heart sounds, mitral sounds, Brui, heart-lung combinations, palpitations, just an extremely extensive and again, very high quality sounds library for you and your students. We're really, really proud of this. What I'd like to do is, next is we'll go into one of the sounds and just give you an opportunity to hear it through the speaker. Again, we're in a virtual environment, so you won't be able to auscultate yourself, but I'll be able to play the sounds for you, and then at a future date when things open up, we'd love to come in and give you a hands-on demo. So I'm going to choose mitral valve prolapse. So I'm going to double click on that, and you can see that the sound comes into this little box right here. So in order to send the sound to SAM, I'm going to click this forward arrow button. And it's right now transferring the sound to, looks like 4 of the 15 speakers in SAM. So once that box turns a solid blue, the sounds could now be heard through SAM3G using a stethoscope. But I want you to be able to hear the sounds through the speaker. So I'm going to click on one of the regions. Let's start with the aortic region. And with my speaker on, you can now hopefully hear mitral valve prolapse in the aortic region, and you can see the rhythm associated with it. Then we can move to the pulmonic region, a little different rhythm. Then we can move to the tricuspid region, again, a little different rhythm. And then finally, the mitral region. So this just shows you what you and your students can hear. If I wanted to cue up a second sound, let's say AFib, for example, I could double click on that, and that's on cue, ready to play when you're ready. Each of the sounds also has a corresponding lesson. So I'll double click on that. And you can see it's going to bring up a mitral valve prolapse, a lesson, discussion, listening techniques, just some great detail for you and your students. I'm going to close out of that. And let's move on to lectures. So with the lecture tab, you have the ability to create your own lectures. You can do that by, well, let's look at one lesson that we've already created. This is just one that I did yesterday. When I pull that up, it's going to play. In this case, it's aortic regurgitation. That will play. And when I'm done with that scenario, I can move forward and it'll play the next sound for me, which I had put into my lesson, which is mitral stenosis. And so you can hear that. So you can, based on whatever content you're teaching related to auscultation, you can create your own lesson, which is really really exciting. So again, you can hopefully hear that. All right, and the next part of SAM that I'd like to show you is the case studies. Case studies really provide you a great example of how SAM can be used in a clinical practice setting with your students. In this case, this is going to show, starting with a encounter with a patient. You'll see the student goes through a series of questions trying to understand what is the condition of the patient. So let's listen. Just launching right now.
Hello, Mr. Houston. My name is Kimberly Bryant, and I'm a medical student. What brings you in today?
Well, I just don't feel like I have the strength or energy to get anything done anymore.
Can you tell me more about it?
Well, all I have to do is think about working in the garden, and I got tired.
How long have you had these symptoms?
Last year, there was no problem. Then this past winter, I just couldn't get any energy going.
Do you have any other symptoms?
Well, I find myself getting winded, and if I have to walk for a city block or climb a flight of stairs, I have to stop at each flight and catch my breath. And if I lie down, I feel like I'm short of breath and I can't get rid of this cough.
Have you had this problem before?
About 6 months ago, everything was fine. Then I started looking for an elevator to get up a building instead of climbing a flight of stairs, because I'd have to stop at the top of each flight to catch my breath.
Do you have any pain with these symptoms?
No pain. Just having to catch my breath is tiresome, and got to get rid of this cough.
May I listen to your heart and lungs now?
And so that is an example of one of several case studies. A couple things you could do after playing that video is click on this document section, and it's going to to launch. Looks like I'm having a technical issue with my connection. I apologize for that. Well, let's move on to sounds. We can click on sounds, and what this will be launching is the sounds associated with congestive heart failure. So much in the same way that we looked at those prior sounds for mitral valve prolapse, these would be the sounds associated with congestive heart failure. So that's SAM3G, really in a rather quick demo, but I wanted to just give you a high-level overview again of the heart, lung, bowel sounds, the extensive library. Wanted to make sure you understood that with the optional speaker, SAM can be used in a classroom setting. Again, students can use their own stethoscope, and SAM3G comes with 1-year access to SAM Online, our online version of the auscultation sounds, which will allow your students to have 24/7 access to the sounds library, which, again, especially in this current environment that we're working in, will allow them really at any time to be able to practice hearing auscultation sounds. And so with that, I'll ask if there's any questions. Be happy to answer. If after, what I will do is send a copy of this video to you so you can share with any colleagues. I'm happy to send any additional literature that you might need. And yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you're sold on this, on our SAM3G, we are taking orders today. But seriously, we appreciate your time and look forward to our continued dialogue. Thanks so much.